brings people together. So I'm someone who's driven with a purpose to share the words that God gives me to share through music. And those words can be about love, soul, happiness. It can be about bringing people together. Anything that's going to uplift you and make your day better, make you think, reflect, make you just chill and have some fun. That's what Carl Brister is about. That's who I am. That's my mission. It sort of kind of goes through everything that I do.
Okay.
I'm also a very, very, very proud father of 2 young champions, sons, and husband to my soulmate, my rock, my wife.
Okay.
And, really it's just about making a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now tell me, because we talked about this off camera, okay, and I promised you I was going to ask, because I know that music is in your DNA. We talked about this.
Right.
You have got to tell us about Jazzy Kazzy and the Sagittarian 5.
Wow. Okay. You took it back.
Okay.
So Jazzy Kazzy is my dad.
Okay.
He passed away 6 years ago. He and my mom, Sonia Brister, who lives here in Virginia, they had me as teenagers. And my dad was always into music. I think he was actually, he was out playing or something, doing some sports or whatever. But since I was a kid, I grew up listening to him and his band, the Sagittarian Fire, rehearse and play music. Like, it didn't matter whether it was a weeknight or a weekend. Weeknights were rehearsal till 11, 12 o'clock in the basement, but of course the music would go throughout the house.
Right.
And weekends were gigs, and I was like first roadie. So I would carry everything, carry drums, carry speakers, carry everything, And then Sundays were listening to the recordings from the performances. Okay. And so I grew up hearing that, making changes to the harmonies, perfecting the music, getting it right, and seeing what hard work is and dedication is about. Then my dad transitioned into being a DJ, and that's where the Jazzy Kazzy part came in. And my dad was part of that first rap generation. Like, he was a rap artist.
Okay.
So I grew up watching that, and somehow through all of that, and my mom always encouraging me as well, all of that gets into my music.
Okay.
He did funk, soul, R&B, hip hop, pop. All of that got in me, and it's coming out.
So what age were you when you realized that this is what you wanted to do?
I knew since, I would say, 5.
5 years old?
Yeah. Okay. I knew all my life pretty much that this is what I've wanted to do.
Now, see, when you were talking about your dad and them practicing and music going through the house, I just envisioned you upstairs somewhere jumping up and down on the bed, and they're like, "Carla, you up there sleeping?" And you're like, "Yes."
Well, I couldn't jump up and down, because that would have gave the whole thing away.
Okay.
So I had to listen quietly, and then listening quietly became sneaking down to try to listen. Then I never forget, they had a bongo sitting outside the room where they rehearsed. So I felt like, well, why not play? So I started playing the bongos so loud, I ended up being on their rehearsal tape. Okay. And my dad was like, "Hold up, stop the music." And then he was like, "What is that sound?" Next thing I know, I was being chased back upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you that person in the family that every time someone came over, you were pulled to entertain or sing or to play for them?
Yep. Yeah, I was the kid that they always brought up for solos and all the family gatherings. They'd have me come up and sing, and I loved it. I was shy too, but I always loved that part of the performance.
So we know that you're from Jersey.
Yep.
How did that northern experience mold Carl Brister?
So being up north, you get all kinds of cultures. Everybody is, I mean, at the end of the day, it's where music is concerned, it's not so much about where you're from, it's about where you are. And black or white, if you love hip hop, you love hip hop, we love hip hop, let's talk hip hop. It's sort of kind of becomes bigger than the small little subcultures that we have. So you get to listen to everything, and it drives you to be the best, and it drives you to be at your best at all times, because just as everybody's listening to everything, and so everybody can sort of give you feedback and also push you further. And it's very competitive in the Northeast.
Absolutely. And again, for those of you that are just tuning in, this is your girl, Raw Silk, and I am sitting down with the man, I called him the Velvet Voice Teddy Bear. Okay, this is Mr. Carl Brister, and we're going to be talking one-on-one with him, just learning about him and his music, his specific style. So tell me, what was like high school like? Were you like in the choir? Did you try to do something totally opposite?
So I was very shy.
Okay.
I was very shy, but I did sing. I did do solos. I was also very much, into the education. So my parents were very, very, very clear about that being your first priority. Mm-hmm. So I did excel in the academics. Okay. So most people knew me for either that or music. Okay. But I didn't really start coming out musically until college. Okay. And it was something that happened in college where I sang a note, and people reacted. That note and the songs that I had written, I started sharing music that I had written, and it started to touch people in a way that it not ever had done before. Okay. And it was profound, and that pushed me to keep going. And that's what said, this is it. This is what you're supposed to do.
Who would you say were some of your influences? Who got that juice flowing for you?
You mean like artists?
Artists, yeah. Back then, because I know your father had like a whole genre collection of music, but who was that person who you was like, yeah, that's it, I gotta...
Originally, Stevie Wonder. So, I mean, my dad, of course, but then Stevie Wonder, because not only was he a singer, but he's also a musician's musician, and he's a producer's producer. He could do it all. But even more, he uses music for social change. Okay. And to speak about things that would make an impact on people's lives beyond the music. He used his platform in a way that, like to march with Martin Luther King, or to at least get his birthday to be a national holiday, to speak about national issues, and to just bring people together. I always loved the way, it didn't matter what you were, black, white, whatever. Stevie Wonder could have a concert or put out a record, and everybody would just have a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so who is Carl's alter ego? Because Carl is very, very reserved, very shy, but I've seen you perform. You're a beast. So who's that other side of Carl? What's he called?
That's a good question.
That's a good question?
That's a real good question. I mean, I'm going to have to come back to that.
Okay, we'll go come back
to
that. Okay, we're definitely going to...
I got some names that I can't really share publicly.
Okay.
But, yeah. we'll come
Let's
back.
switch gears for a minute because you talked about your 2 heartbeats, okay? And we talked off camera about your sons. Tell me about your sons.
So my sons, Justin and Jordan, so they're my heart. They keep me in line, in essence. They help me to check myself, to make sure that what I'm writing, the music that I do, is good for them too. And I mean that in the way that I don't want to put just anything out there just to get likes or shock value. It has to be something that I can play in front of them and be proud of. So they matter in every aspect of my life.
And it's funny that you say that because with that passion, were they the true inspirations for Daddy's Angel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can hear that when you listen to that song.
Yeah. I wrote Daddy's Angel a week before my youngest son, Jordan, was born.
Okay.
And my wife was going into all this pre-labor stuff like that, and I think I was more nervous than she was.
Okay.
So when
you
I
had to do something.
yeah,
Right.
so
okay.
I started to play and write, and the song came to me, and it was the first song that Jordan heard when he came out of the hospital.
Okay, and we talked about your son, so we know that I told you, you said it's in their DNA. They already done started showing interest by playing instruments and things of that nature, so we're going to lift that up and that they continue on. But one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, how do you balance? Because the entertainment industry is absolutely crazy, and especially now, it's not like how it was when your dad was coming through the game. Okay, how do you balance being a husband, a father, but still on this grind of trying to get your music out to the masses, not even actually doing it? How do you balance?
So for me, it's about having a system of priorities. Of course, our relationship with God and the Lord Jesus is first, and that guides everything else. But my family comes before everything else, even the music. And so I don't think I could be totally fulfilled without doing the music, but I know I wouldn't be right if I didn't do right by my family first. So if I have to, which I do, get up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock every day to work out, to rehearse, whatever I have to do, I make it happen, but I make it happen around my families because they come first.
Okay, and that's deep. Again, this is Karamel Entertainment Video Jam Special Edition with recording artist called Brister, and we're gonna go and we're gonna see what this velvet voice is all about. So stay tuned for this video. We'll be right back.
This is one of my favorite songs that I sing to encourage myself, and I'm so happy to share it with you today. Come on. God is the captain of my destiny. My quest in life to keep on trusting and believe, not letting words they say turn me around. No, no, I'm not turning around, no. No time to contemplate on cares behind, 'cause I'm determined, and my one desire is to His plan that I stay true, determined to go on. Lord, keep believing in you, 'cause I'm determined to keep my faith in you. So determined, I know. See me through. Oh, I'm determined. Oh yeah. I'm determined. dry. Well, I ain't got no time to listen, no time to listen to my drive. No, I'm moving on towards my destiny. I'm standing on promises. Ooh, I'm waiting patiently. That voice inside me says, take heed. Lord, I'm never giving up on you, 'cause I know you're never giving up on me, 'cause I'm determined, my Lord. So determined. Well, I know, well, I know, well, I know. Listen, see, I'm determined to fulfill the revelation of my destination. If that's determination, with God's help, a lot of patience, I walk that walk and talk that talk. I see bodies shot up, I see bodies in chalk, and I look up in the sky and always wonder the reasons why He lets these bullets keep on passing me by. For I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This is nothing phony, this is my I've got to tell y'all that all power's in God's hands. Can I get a witness? Come on. And the Lord ain't never failed me yet. Oh, Lord, I'm standing on your promises so true. Got to keep my faith, Lord, keep believing. This is what I say. I can, and you can, we can make it. Come on, say I can, you can, we can make it. Do you believe it? Say I can, you can, we can make it. Come on, if you believe that, I need you to say I can, you can, we can make it. Say we can make it, 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 we can make it.
And we are back. Thank you for staying tuned in with us. Once again, this is your girl, Raw Silk, and you are watching a special edition of Karamel Video Jams with the one and only Carl Brister. So, Carl, I want to jump right back in because we were talking off camera and looking at that video, but we have to be clear. What is your style of music? Because everyone assumes it's gospel.
Yeah. So my style of music is soul and pop music. I began professionally as a gospel recording artist. I started out with C.D. Hawkins and Singers on a Mighty Fortress album, which was on Sony Records. And then I released independent projects that were all contemporary gospel. But as we already spoke of, I was raised with all kinds of music, loving and appreciating and writing all kinds of music. And after my dad passed away, I started to really understand that it wasn't about the genre of music. It was about being who you are as a Christian in whatever you do. So for others, it might be their mission or their path to do one type of music, but there was so much more music coming out of me, and I couldn't just ignore it. I had to explore it all, and my dad had always encouraged me to do that. After he passed away, I knew that I had to. And so now I don't qualify or characterize myself as just a gospel artist. I'm a Christian, and I'm a Christian everywhere. And I'm a Christian in whatever I do. but my music does transcend one style. So I just call it soul and pop music.
If you had to pick something that sets you apart from everyone else, what would that be?
I think it's the purpose and the ambition of my music, which is beyond just making a great song or having a hit. My purpose is to make an impact.
Okay.
And to do that through my music, if I'm going to write a love song, I want it to be a love song that's going to really like speak to couples and bring them together. And if it's going to be a love song about making love, I want it to be the most beautiful experience through that song, and something that's going to stick with people and make their lives greater. Like I want to create moments through my music. The music has just a greater ambition. I know that there are other artists that do that, so I just want to be among them.
So let's talk about the new album. Let's talk about the title first, okay? Love plus life equal. How did we come up with that?
So when you've gone through some things, you sort of take a step back and look at it, like where's this all going? What does anything mean? And you have all these different experiences. Love gets complicated, and it's supposed to be pure and simple. You face the loss of loved ones. I just started to look back and say, this whole equation of love plus life, one without the other is incomplete. And I also teach math.
Okay.
I also teach math, and I guess I was in my math head at that
right,
time.
okay.
I was like, with an equation, you have everything on this side must equal something on that side to make that equation true. Talking math now. Let's get it.
But that makes perfectly good sense, because think about it. One of the things that we talk about all the time is that in order to get to a solution, you have to first acknowledge there's a problem.
Exactly.
So if you put it in that mathematical concept, it creates beautiful music.
Thank you.
You can use that.
Thank you.
Tell me about Turning Point.
So Turning Point is the current single from Love Plus Life, and every song on Love Plus Life is about a different aspect of life that we go through. Turning Point really was the song that I wrote when I finally let go. And I finally found my space and my happy. And I decided to follow it. I decided to write music about everything and in whatever style that I wanted to. And I felt really free. But also, following your path, there's a lot of obstacles you go through. And this journey in music is tough. And so you get to a place where whenever you're trying to do what you're called or created to do, you go through deterrents, challenges, and people give up on their dreams. So I wanted to just express how not only did I find my happy, but I was determined to keep following that. And I wanted to encourage other people to do the same.
And that's encouraging, because I know in doing my follow-up on you that you had came to that crossroad in the road, and you actually had started to walk away from music, which would have been sad. What pushed you through?
Man. Honestly, again, my dad's passing. Before he passed, he said, if you really have faith, you have to really believe that if God told you to go somewhere, that he's going to get you there. He said, that's what true faith is. And my dad wasn't a church guy. He wasn't a church guy. He was a member of a Broad Rock church down here in Richmond.
Familiar.
I'm going to say that, but that was later in life. Growing up, he wasn't that church guy. But he had faith. He had faith. And I never forget, I did not understand why he was telling me that. This was like a month or two before he passed. But after he passed, I realized I had to keep going. I wasn't born to give up.
Beautiful. Okay, so now tell me about Grandmaster.
Oh man, wow. Okay, so I study martial arts, and Grandmaster Kinsler is my teacher. And this is another example of someone who is just following their passion. He puts everything, his heart, his soul, into teaching. And he has this big heart for kids with disabilities. And I've seen him do wonders. And he now is facing some health challenges, but he's at the dojo every week. Every week, and he's there before me. If I'm late, he'll call me,
Okay.
And he inspires me.
Okay. Speaking of inspirations, anybody in the industry you want to work with, have a desire to collaborate with?
Oh man, there's some really good music, that's coming out, and there's a lot of people that I would love to collab with. They say if you say their names, you got to jinx yourself and everything. Okay. But I don't mind sharing. I love what John Legend's doing. I love what Kendrick Lamar is doing. I love what Miguel is doing. Just a small example of some guys that are really, I think, creating some great moments in music.
What stage do you want to be on in the next 5 years?
That's a really good question too. Oh man, this is cool.
Okay.
So I want to get to a place where I can make a difference for others. And my goal is that whatever stage I am on, that I will use wherever I am. Sometimes you wait until you get to that big stage to then give back or to then do it. But I have some really caring people around me now who are constantly reminding me to enjoy every stage of the journey. Stage literally, whether it's a small stage, whether I'm talking to you or I'm talking to Oprah, it matters. And enjoy every moment of the ride.
Absolutely.
And so, in 5 years, I just hope that I'm on a stage that I'm using to do things for others, and that my music is making a really big difference in people's lives and making people happy.
So with all of that going on and balancing and family and children and martial arts, how do you stay spiritually grounded? What do you do to stay spiritually connected?
Oh man, well, I mean, I am. So my calling is to share Christ. And wherever I am, actually every Christian is called to do that. Mm-hmm. So if I am too far away, the Lord, through the Holy Spirit, brings me back.
Okay.
And I need that quiet time. For me, it's mostly during my workouts in the mornings, where everything is still, and I'm jogging and I'm meditating at the same time, and I'm actually had some great worship experiences in those moments. You know, just finding a quiet place to just sit and read the word and to hear from him and to talk. That's how I try to make sure I'm making that time in my day, every day or as much as I can.
Okay. And again, you're watching a special edition, a one-on-one with recording artist called Brister on Karamel Video Jams. This is your girl, Raw Silk. We're going to look at another video and we will be right back.
Uncomplicated like the spring. Before the house, before the kids. And way before this fame thing. Cause like in mahogany, all the success means nothing with no you and me. So let's just make it like it was. Go back to why we fell in love. Remember back in the day we would be doing everything we could. Didn't have a lot, but we would have a good time. Some candlelight and some Chinese food of a kind, but it was still good. Giggling, laughing about how we would be loving each other for life. So let's go back, let's go back. Don't let go, baby, let's go back.
we are back. That was a beautiful video, beautiful song. This is your girl, Raw Silk, and I'm sitting here with recording artist called Brister. And we just been having great one-on-one open conversation. You have really got to know him. We're going to give you some information on how you can follow him shortly. But we talked to the recording artist side. I want to talk to Carl about, because he is huge in humanitarian and advocacy efforts. So I want to give you a peek into the background for that as well. So tell us, Carl, about the Charity Bowl.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So the Charity Bowl is an event that I started to help children who were born or their siblings with HIV and AIDS. So several years ago, I had a really good buddy, and I was actually creating my first demo, and I needed some money, so I went to some people that I knew were supportive and asked them if they would donate towards it. And this brother gave me his donation on a condition, and he said, on one condition, which was that you never give up. And I was like, okay, yeah, just give me the money, you know. And he's like, no, it's like, you must promise me that, because I might not always be here. It's like, all right, yeah, man. So he donated his contribution towards my first demo. About 6 months later, he passed away, and I was in his hospital room. He died of HIV and AIDS. And then it came back to me, never give up. He knew. And so I started the HIV and AIDS Charity Bowl in his honor, in essence, that it was my way of giving back and celebrating what he had done for me, giving. And so I'm really proud of that. We would go to the hospital, we would perform for the kids. I had other entertainers come with me, and we would have a bowling challenge so that people could bring their hats, gloves, and scarves, because especially up north, we have the elements that they have to be guarded against. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah.
What a beautiful way to keep a promise. Awesome way to keep a promise. So I know that you had an opportunity to go to the motherland. I know that you did some missionary work in Liberia. Tell me about that experience.
So that was life-changing. I went with a mission crusade from Christian Love Baptist Church in Irvington, New Jersey. And we spent about 9 days in Liberia. And while I was there, we gave out rice to the people in the different communities, villages there. It was, you don't know how blessed you are until you see a whole community of people come out for rice. And that 1 cup of rice will be their meal for the week.
Wow.
And they were extremely gracious. In addition to that, I was determined to hear the music of Africa. I wanted that. And I met some young kids that stayed with me through the entire trip, and they taught me song after song after song.
And there's one particular song I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Bless Someone Today.
Yeah, and this was a beautiful song called Bless Someone Today that they taught me. And then one night I had an opportunity, because we had revivals every night. And so I was a part of the music ministry there, and I got a chance to sing it back to them, but I sang it our way. I sort of interpreted it our way, because they would sing it quickly, like, my Lord will bless someone today, my Lord will bless someone today. Like, they had crazy rhythms, and it was awesome. And I sort of kind of took it down, was like, the Lord will bless someone today. The Lord will bless someone today. The Lord will bless someone today. It may be you, it may be me, maybe someone by your side. It may be you, it may be me, maybe someone by your side. And it was just this crazy exchange that was beautiful. And
What a beautiful translation.
Yeah.
I know you definitely want to go back. Any plans to go back?
Yes. The church that I am a member of now is called the Life Christian Church in West Orange. And we do an outreach to Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping to travel there and take my sons as well at some point within the next maybe 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to travel with me briefly. I want to take you to a very small dark corner in your past, okay? And the reason why I say it's a dark corner, but you came out victorious. Tell us about that.
So, at the age of 5, a family friend who was watching me sexually molested me, and so it was terrifying as a young. It was terrifying for anybody. It's terrifying for me. In addition to being deceived because he said that this was a game that we would play, but it became violent and it was not a game. It wasn't anything I thought it would have been. But on top of that, I was threatened never to say anything to anyone. And I didn't. I didn't. Somehow, I never saw him until I was about 12. When I saw him, I didn't remember why I became conflicted in that moment. But I never saw him again after that. And I never said a word until I became an adult, because it had gone from my mind, totally gone from my mind. So I didn't grow up introverted because of that incident.
Right.
God, I would say mercifully,
Put a shield around.
yeah, I never had, at least to my understanding, anything that, any ramifications from that incident as a kid. I grew up and having a wonderful childhood. But I know that it had its effects. And it wasn't until I was in college that the whole thing just came back to my memory. And I remember just crying silently because I was afraid. I didn't want my roommates, I didn't want any other person to know. I became like ashamed. I felt, now I'm an adult or a young adult, and I'm thinking, I could have fought, I could have done this.
And I could have done that, right.
I didn't give myself the reasonable excuse of, you were only 5.
Right.
I blamed myself.
Right. And I want to be clear to our audience that this is something that I didn't put Carl on the spot, where we talked about this. And the reason why he and I brought this to the forefront is because there's a man out there right now, there's a black man that's right out there right now that's wrestling with that, and we can show the positive things that can come out of the most negative things that can happen to you, number one. But also, number two, the advocacy work that you do for children now, to stop this crazy thing of children being preyed upon. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's great when someone can tell their truth and live in their truth, and even though it takes you to a dark place, it's blessing somebody. So I thank you for even allowing us to bring that to the table. That's the transparency that I like, but I did need to say that that wasn't something that we just threw out there. This was a conversation that Carl and I had, and he mutually agreed that he wanted, there's always a test and a testimony. So I thank you for sharing that. But we're gonna come back to the sunshine right now. So tell me about Agape. Tell me about Agape Music Works.
Okay, I do want to make sure that I say
Absolutely
to anybody that has gone through what I've gone through, or even worse, or is going through it. I want you to know, first of all, that it is not your fault. You are not to blame. And number two, please tell someone. Please don't allow the fear or the stigmas or anything like that to keep you silent. Silence will be their best weapon against you, and it will allow yourself to continue to be victimized. The victory comes when you say something. And please feel, whomever it might be, whether it's a parent or a friend, just tell someone. And if you've gone through it and you're still dealing with it, please talk to someone, because you're worth more. Your life has greater meaning and purpose than just that. That's, if I don't mind, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
You are not, and nor am I, defined by whatever happened. Your purpose is greater than that event. And in order to rise and meet that purpose, we who share that experience will have to deal with what happened so that we can move forward. And I pray that if there is anyone listening that understands what I'm saying right now, that you will move forward, because you can and you must. And know that I am here praying for your victory as well.
Thank you so much. And on that note, we're going to take a brief break. We're going to go to another video, and we'll be right back.
But I'm still here, and this is why I gotta sing. My life was threatened, molestation tried to take me out. Told I would regret it if I ever opened my mouth. For years and years I hid them tears, pillow. Wet from shame, from hurt, from pain, for real though. I asked the Lord to tell me why it had to be this way. Perhaps to help somebody say, I'm still here.
Ladies and gentlemen, call Brister. And oh yeah, my name is Michelle. Let's go! Yeah, if he's ever done anything for you, say he brought you back to joy, say you still say, hey, see Brister, talk to him, yeah.
Listen, I heard the preacher say the other day, the only way to go to is throw. Well, I feel like I've been through hell and back. I was all a test I made it through. Now I'm here to tell my story about my yesterday. So glad, so glad, so glad I made it through. Took a lifetime to get here to tell my story about my yesterday. Listen, when I was young I went through what the tribes will never see. And this is why I gotta sing. My life was threatened, molestation tried to take me out. Told I would regret it if I ever opened my mouth. For years and years I hid from tears. Hello. Wet from pain, from hurt, from shame. I asked the Lord to tell me why it had to be this way. Perhaps to help somebody say. Maybe to help somebody say. If you allow, you can say.
And we are back, and we thank you so much for staying tuned in. This is your girl, Raw Silk, and we have had a special edition of Karamel Video Jams with the one and only Carl Brister. So, Carl, tell us about the Love and Unity Festival.
The Love and Unity Diversity Festival is an event that I started 3 years ago when we had the racial uprisings and the police brutality shootings in New Orleans and throughout the nation. I wanted to do something to bring people together, and I did it through music. So I got artists from all different genres: rock, pop, jazz, blues, soul, to come together to just create and perform good music, to bring people of all cultures together. And it was so successful: black, white, Asian, everything. So we've been doing it now. This will be my third year as the founder of it. I'm working with this Livingston, New Jersey Council of Diversity, and it will be September 29th.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And so give us some contact information, how we can follow you so we can know about all of these great things, what you got coming up next. How do people follow Carl Brister?
So definitely check out my website, carlbrister.com, and designed by my wife. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Beverly's Web Shop. Shout out. Carl Brister 1 is my Instagram handle. You can check me out on Facebook and Twitter at Facebook or Twitter.com/Carl Brister.
Okay, so now I've warned you. As these moments wind down, we are not letting you get out of this house without giving us something. We done looked at the videos. They were all nice. You did a wonderful job with them. But now, mano y mano, one-on-one, what you got
I
for
knew
me?
I couldn't come through here.
Exactly.
So, all right, the newest single, the current single is Turning Point.
Okay.
And definitely want everybody to be encouraged with that. So, the bridge is, well, dreams are born so differently for all, but there comes a point when you will stand or fall. You will know which one's for you. Dreams don't come easy, but they can come true. I'm at a turning point, finally found my happy. I've learned to live and let go, and finally I'm free, and I'm gonna raise the bar. Fear get behind me, all I need's inside me. If I believe, if you believe, if we believe, past the turning point.
I believe. Okay, I believe, and I know after this hour, you have too. You've been watching Karamel Video Jams, special edition, one-on-one with Carl Brister. Please follow him. Give us that contact information again.
carlbrister.com is the website. carlbrister1 is the handle for Instagram, and Twitter or Facebook.com/Carl Brister.
And we'll have all of this information on Karamel Entertainment's Facebook page as well as Alive and Global Media. We thank everybody from behind the scenes, Leroy for having your girl once again, Scott's Protection for always being that #1 bodyguard, Mr. LP from Chavala Studios and the Live and Media Group, and the man who will not take any pictures, my #1 sponsor, Crossley Coleman Group. So thank you all for staying tuned in. Please follow this gentleman. He is awesome, and we are looking for more great music out of him. Ross Silk is out. Have a good night.
Thank you.